Hiya Matty, great session and great first win in 18 months. Nice bit of feedback there, well done. Nice score, and at least it gives you a bit of confidence that you're moving in the right direction. Judging by your text and your email, it's obvious that, you know, every now and again you're going to make the old downswing based around the P4 that you see up on the top left shortly. First change we made was at setup. We want to make sure that the right foot is turned out a similar amount to the left foot. As a benchmark, you want both feet turned out approximately 20 degrees for reasons we discussed during your session. You can see here on the top right hand footage, quite square with the right foot and flared out with the left, which is discouraging you making a proper turn and getting the hands deep during the backswing, which was the second piece that you wanted to work on. One thing you'd notice was that, you know, you'd always got trapped underneath it, and one of the reasons was because you picked the club up too quickly and had to then drop it inside on the way down. So the butt of the club, instead of tracing hand plane then elbow plane, elevates onto elbow plane very quickly and then starts to elevate onto the shoulder plane at the top of the backswing. Unfortunately, from there it's got to drop back down onto elbow plane. The act of doing this is loading accumulator 3 a little bit too much. It's positioning the club behind you and opening it up, and as a result, coming through impact, we have to release quickly to turn the corner. So when we look at it from face on, it's quite picked up, shoulders turning very level, arms working up very quick, and then from there we're going to see the hands dropping behind us, the body stalling now to allow the club to catch up, the left wrist buckling, high rate of closure on the club face, quite a sort of saggy right knee, saggy left knee, and again a lot of that is to do with stalling really, to try and help the club just turn the corner through the impact area. So the feelings were, first of all, to tidy up this backswing, we want the club to be swung onto elbow plane, which is approximately 6 inches behind the right shoulder at the top. So your key thought here was to turn the right foot out and to then swing the club to a point that's 6 inches behind the right shoulder. We see now that the hands trace more of an inward path, so P1 to P2 is tidied up. P3 is massively different. I'm just going to take this down at P3. So the hands have moved much more inwards. The shaft of the club now is bisecting the base of the right bicep rather than the right shoulder. It's a much more on-plane swing. Then if we take it to the top, butt the club over the top of the right shoulder on this one. Bang on elbow plane at the top of the backswing. Superb P4 that. As a result of you moving into that position and altering the foot flirt slightly, what we also see is a left shoulder that traces more of a downward path rather than a level path from face on, and a much more on top of the golf ball look at the top. If we want to get that, the swing was just one we were punching down, but you get the idea that the trajectory of the left shoulder has started to change as well. So much better P4 from there. We don't need to drop the club inside. There still is a little bit of that going on, which is why the club drops under plane. The act of getting into a better P4 will remove the need to do a lot of things during the downswing. Don't expect that need to go away anytime within the next week or so. So, you know, we'd still want to tidy that up in subsequent sessions. But for now, it's going to make it less of an essential piece. So that drop inside isn't required. On these shots now, the second thing we worked on was trying to control the rate of closure, and what we said for you to do was to stop quick and keep the arms nice and straight. When you stop quick and keep the arms nice and straight, in order to do that, you have to use your body differently. So we start to see that the arms don't get thrown off the ribcage quite as much. The exit becomes a little bit more realistic, rather than excessively high. You can see there you're exiting through the left shoulder for an iron, which is too high. We're exiting more now beneath the left shoulder, and ideally we would want to exit just through the base of the left bicep. That would mean that P8 and P3 both match up with one another. So instead of say P9 and P3 both match up with one another, and the arms would trace the circle both sides of the ball. That would give us the sort of straightest, most consistent ball flight possible with the swing that we're now using. The act of stopping quick, keeping the arms straighter, starts to reduce the rate of closure on the club face. If you look at the difference between the two positions in relation to what the hands have done, that right wrist hasn't bowed out as much, hasn't rolled over quite as much, there's much less of the left hand visible. And then if you also look, added to that, the effect on the club face wrapped over, much less. There's still a bit of closure on the club face, but nothing dramatic. One of the reasons being is we don't have to try and turn the corner quite as much. We're also starting to see a little bit more of a realistic flex in the left knee and the right knee. Over the course of your coming sessions, we'd expect to see that right knee and left knee straighten out more as the belt raises. But you can see the effect of keeping the arms straight. If you look at the difference in the rotation of the hips through the hip area, here the hips have slid and tucked but haven't continued to rotate. Here the rotation of the hips has been consistent throughout. So the hips are doing three things in the downswing: sliding, extending and rotating, and you're doing all three on the bottom right. You're not doing all three on the top right. Right foot's less popped up, head's moving in a much better manner, hands have calmed down. All in all, much tidier. So between now and when we get together next, the feelings are: swing the butt of the club to a point that's 6 inches behind the right shoulder, and when you're hitting shots in practice, keep stopping quick. Good luck. Look forward to more feedback and look forward to working with you in the coming weeks. Well done.